Hey guys, I am Coco Dupree, and I thought for the rest of this month of May and for the month of June, I would do a get to know me segment where you can send in messages, send in questions, and I would pretty much answer them so that you can get to know more about me and how I got into the industry. The first question that was sent was why and how did I get into singing? So I got into singing because I was forced. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. No, I didn't. But on a serious note, I come from a family of singers, performers, and anybody remember the gospel group, the Wades? Well, that group was made up by my uncles, and it was a privilege to be able to look up to these men of God that were going around performing all over the world. And I even had the privilege of performing with them as a dancer, and that was fun. That was definitely fun times. But also my mother, she was also a singer and songwriter and an artist back in her day as well. So that was pretty much, such an interesting thing for me to know, because I feel like it's important to kind of like know the line of where you come from. And that pretty much helped me, it pretty much helped form the person that I am today within my artistry, and to not forget where I have pretty much come from. But funnily enough, singing wasn't actually my first passion. Dancing was my first passion. And I used to dance in school. I did it throughout my whole school years, and even done it to the point where I done it professionally. I was, going to this class every week, and I ended up performing with so many different signed artists and opening up for shows. I did TV shows, Top of the Pops. I did so many different shows back in the day, and even done the Commonwealth Games. We did the opening ceremony. That was pretty awesome. Opening ceremony, or was it the closing? I can't remember. It was so long ago. But just doing that was a great experience and so much fun, And yeah, so dancing pretty much took over everything. However, I did have an actual passion for singing, but not professionally. It was more as a leisure. I remember singing with my sister in the living room. We would have hairbrushes and we would sing to like Mariah Carey songs. And, I would always be the one that would be doing that famous whistle at the end that she would do, that a famous high note. Do not ask me to do it now, because I would mostly sound like a drowned cat. But I did do it. And, I used to enjoy showing off, doing that whistle. So yeah, but it wasn't really something that I found myself wanting to do as an artist or being in the spotlight. I liked being behind scenes. I liked being in the background, So, and that takes me to where my cousin brought me to an open mic night, which was in central London. And I went there with him and was introduced to like, I'd call it like the underground industry session, where you have all these different singers all over the world or the country, come down to this one night. And I remember being called. I was thinking, why y'all calling me up? I remember just going up, and I must have just like was ad-libbing, showing off, just ad-libbing to whatever song was being played. I can't remember the song exactly. But I actually give that shout out to my cousin, because when we was in church growing up in the youth, we would do this thing as a family where we would go upstairs into the room and we would sit in a circle, and he would play an instrumental of something, and we would go around one by one, doing ad-libbing whatever was on your heart. You just ad-lib it, ad-lib. And we would all do it one by one. I remember I would be shaking from my hair all down to my toes. I was nervous. Every time it would come to me, like you could hear it in my voice, it was shaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm about to sing this thing, But it was fun though, because things like that stretched me, that, pushed me forward in terms of my confidence, that built me up. So when it came to this open mic night, I went up there, did my thing, he also said, oh, go to do some backgrounds. And I was like, oh yeah, I know this song. So I ended up doing backgrounds. And from there, it just took off. You know, I was going there every single week and was doing background for these guys. And that was so much fun. Like I enjoyed it. Like it turned into a job. And from there, you know, I was able to sing with other artists and, you know, travel the world and, you know, live and be in so many different countries, performing, being on tour, you know, and that kind of just built up my confidence from there. And but it's funny because I still never really saw myself as an artist, singing and being in the spotlight. I enjoyed just being in the background, but that came down to a confidence thing, you know. But yeah, it was definitely something that I enjoyed doing, not knowing that it was going to turn into artistry. You know, I never really thought that. But the combination of all those things, listening to good music and doing these open mic nights, you know, it gave me that confidence to the point that I started recording music with my cousin, one of my younger cousins. I remember I would go around to his house and we'd just be writing music, you know. We half the time I believe we didn't really know what we was doing, but we did in a way, you know. We just followed the spirit, if we want to say that. We just did what was in us, really and truly, now that I think about it. And then yeah, we just kept singing. We kept coming together as a youth and would put on performances and would sing at the church, would dance and would sing at the same time. And that was, you know, fun. And to be honest, like the rest was absolute history, you know, and here I am today. So thank you so much for the question that came in. I look forward to seeing more. And yeah, stay tuned to this post. I will be doing many more. Like I said, I will be posting these questions up on the Get to Know Me segment. So peace out. I am gospel R&B artist Coco Dupree. What was the song that we did for that first open mic night? I'm sure it was I can't remember. I know I was nervous. I was real nervous. I'm trying to remember. It was a Jill Scott song, but I think it was the Karen Clark version of You Love Me. I think it was like you love me especially different. You keep me on my feet happily, yeah, excited. You love me every time you love me. Thank you for loving me, Jesus. Yeah, I remember. Just trying to dust off the vocals, but yeah, that was it. I remember it. That was cool. We did that with Tamine. I remember her used to get together and we would learn the back and forth parts between the Karen Clark and the Kiki. Oh, that was crazy. That was so much fun.